All right. It is 6 o'clock here in South Carolina, so it is time to start this yoga for recovery, resilience, and revelation. And so I thought tonight, this evening, this afternoon, we would do a simple practice of 5 movements and 4 breaths. And so the 5 movements are known as the 5 Tibetans. They are an ancient sequence of movement practice that goes back, some say, between 2 and 3,000 years. And they're designed to activate the energy vortices in the body and align the endocrine system, that's our glandular system, get our internal chemistry hooked up correctly. So we're going to experiment with that, and then we'll do some different breath practices. We'll come seated after that movement practice. We'll come seated, and we'll finish up with some breath practices that should bring us into an aligned and meditative state. So we can cover all 5 of our tools: meditation, breath, mindful movement, guided rest, and gratitude. So let us start with gratitude by coming into this place and coming into this space, preparing to practice, remembering that support precedes action. Find yourself in a supported posture, whatever that means to you. And so maybe you want to be on your back with your legs at the wall, or you want to be lying down, or you want to be seated as I am, cross-legged, or in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. The only requirement are that you be able to breathe and that you be able to lengthen the spine. So however you need to be there. And then take a moment as you find the breath. Feel into the awareness of the breath arriving underneath the nostrils. And then follow the inhalation in and out through the nostrils. Feeling the subtle changes in the body cavity as you breathe in fully, 360, front, back, and center in the abdomen, ribs, chest. And then the subtle change as the lungs deflate, maybe a little tug on the diaphragm at the bottom to remove any last vestiges of used and old air from the lungs, emptying completely, feeling the exhale through the nostrils, and then allowing the next inhale to arrive and following it in. And just begin to be right there, following your breath in and out, and bringing your attention to the place in your body where the inhale begins. Find that place. And then anchoring your attention at that place, being right there at the inhale, expand your awareness to include your heart space. And in your heart space, I invite you to allow to arise any one thing that you're grateful for. Maybe it's just the possibility of gratitude. It doesn't matter. Any one thing, whatever it is, just allow it to arise. See it clearly, maybe give it a name, a temperature, a texture, a color, a shape, an aroma, a sensory feeling, a sound. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, see it clearly in your mind's eye. And then I invite you to anchor that sense of gratitude at that place where your inhale is, beginning. And then as we go through the practice today, maybe you can breathe in that gratitude with each inhale. So as I say, we're going to do the 5 Tibetans. So we'll come to our mat, we'll come seated. We'll come standing on our mat. Now the key to this first Tibetan, which is the spin, is to maintain focus. And so the feet are underneath the hips, hip distance apart. And the knees are soft, the ankles are soft, the waist is firm. Lengthen through the side body, lengthen through the spine, tuck the chin slightly, feel the back of the spine get long. And then the arms are going to go out at the shoulder height. Now your drishti is key to this practice because you're going to be revolving, okay? And so you want to find, for some people, it's just a simple something not moving just beyond the tip of the nose. And for others like me, I like to look at my left thumb because that works for me. And then we're just going to simply slowly revolve in a clockwise direction. Now, in the practice, you do between 1 and 21. I'm going to do 7 of each of these today. You do what's right for you, remembering it is your practice, listening to the wisdom of your body, following your own innate wisdom and your own practice. And the key is to be in the breath. Long, deep inhales, like full yogic breaths here. And I usually try to make 1 breath per 1 revolution, which makes it nice and rhythmic for me. 1 more if you're with me, wherever you are. When you're done, you're just going to stop, release your hands down and stand and breathe. Maybe you feel a little bit dizzy after that. That's natural and normal. You just did spinning, and then just release the arms, release the feet, and just take 3 deep breaths. Full inhale, complete exhale. And 1 more. And then come down onto your back on your mat. And the next movement is a modified leg lift. So the toes go towards the ceiling. The feet are hip distance apart. The palms are down alongside the hips. The forearms are down for support. So feel into that. Now, the key to this is to be aligned with breath and to be in long, deep breath. So moving slowly, right? So as you inhale, we're going to lift the legs and the torso. And then as you exhale, you'll lower down. And again, between 1 and 21, I'm going to do 7. It's a nice, even number, enough to be engaged and fully in the movement. This is really a wonderful practice to do at any time in the day. Just be in your breath. When the movement starts, when the breath starts, the movement starts. And when you release, make sure you release all the way down. So allow the feet to lightly touch and the shoulders and back of the head to lightly touch. 1 more if you're with me.
Brian, do you have a modification for a bad lower back?
Yes, wonderful question. I should have mentioned that. So yes, so you're going to do any one of 3 things for that particular exercise to modify. 1 is to do 1 leg at a time, leaving the head and shoulders down. If you're comfortable with the shoulders coming up, then you would bring the shoulders up. The other is if you can place the hands underneath the hips so that your SI joint, the top of your buttocks, is on the back of the palms, and that will provide additional support. The elbows will move out a little bit. That'll provide a little additional support there. Okay. And then the third is if you're not getting enough support from your hands, you'll use your gear. Place your bolster or your block or a rolled up blanket under the lower back and modify that way. So our next is a modified form of camel pose. You may be familiar with camel pose. So we're going to come into this standing on the knees posture. The hips aligned with the knees and the shoulders over the hips. The toes are curled and pressed into the ball of the feet and back to the heel. This will provide additional support and also help to keep you lifted out of the lower back. Now, again, you're only going to do what's appropriate for you. The hands will come to the thighs, or if you actually have the flexibility to reach your heels, that's fine. Or your block is a wonderful thing. If I find my gear here, maybe I can demonstrate with the gear. If you have that flexibility, you can place your gear back here. And then as you inhale, you're just going to open the chest. Now, a tendency here is to use the neck and do this little orange or lemon crushing thing we call with the neck. Let's not do that. Let's keep the relationship of the chin and the sternum in one place. And then we just open through the chest. So it's a little back bend. And it may just be a little back bend if you're like me, old and inflexible. a small range of motion. You're just trying to find your range of motion. And then the exhale, you come back and you do a slight rounding. And again, I'm going to do 7. You're going to do what's right for you. Between 1 and 21 is the practice. One more if you're with me. Again, the key is trying to align the movement and the breath. And then just take your 3 full inhales and exhales when you complete. So full inhalation. And a complete exhale. Release the tops of the feet. Full inhale. Complete exhale. And one more time. A deep breath in. And a full breath out. Our next series is a modified modified desk posture. So you're going to place your feet hip distance apart and your heels out in front of you far enough that you can find purchase, that is pressure in the heels. You're going to take your hands wider than your hips, behind the hips, fingers toward the heels. And then press to a desk, which is a modified reverse table or desk posture. So you're trying to get your spine straight. Now your feet and your hands, your heels and your hands will not change position here. The body on the exhale will lower down, the hips will rotate even with the wrists, and your heels will stay placed. Your toes will probably come up unless you have that flexibility. All right, and then this is the inhale. You're just pressing and lifting through the belly button. Coming back, so then we're just going to do 7 here, or whatever number is right for you, with the breath. And then release. And just take a full inhale and a complete exhale. Let everything settle. The integration and at the completion is as important as the movement. So effort and then ease. Stila and then sukha. And then our last movement today is going to be perhaps from movements that are familiar with you. It's a modification of upward dog and downward dog. And we move between the two. Now, what's different, if you're familiar with downward dog, you're pressing the hips high, out of the fingers are wide, the heels of the palms are pressed deep, the forearms are extended, biceps frame the ears, hips are high, head is loose, falling to the mat, and the heels are moving in the direction of the mat. Now, typically, in downward dog, we're exhaling. And then upward dog, which is the converse of this, where you lean into the shoulders and drop the hips. Now, typically we inhale on upward dog. So what's different in the Tibetans is the breath is different. So on the inhale, we press back into downward dog. And on the exhale, we roll forward and up into upward facing dog. And again, I'm going to do 7. You're going to do what's right for you. Be in the breath, long, deep yogic breath. And then after your seventh, just come into a wisdom pose, releasing your hands back by your feet, palms up if you like, shoulders can then release, or keep the hands lightly in front of you and let your forearms relax down. The key is to release in the shoulders. Take a breath. And exhale completely. A full inhale. And a full exhale. And one last breath. And then bring yourself seated in a supported seated position. So maybe you're in your chair. Maybe you're on a bolster or a cushion. We're going to be here for a few minutes while we do 4 separate breath practices. And we'll begin by finding that posture of support in which we can breathe and lengthen the spine. So find that first. And then bring your awareness to the breath. Get long through the spine, soften the shoulders, lengthen through the crown, tuck the chin slightly. And we're going to start with alternate nostril breath. Now you can do alternate nostril breath with mental awareness. You would just simply bring your mind to each nostril and be aware of the energy flow. Or if you like, you can make the mudra using your ring finger to close, using your thumb to close the right nostril and your ring finger to close left nostril as we move through the practice. I'm going to demonstrate the mudra position. And if you're congested on either side or on both sides, and you're just having difficulty with this, just do a long, deep breath. Just keep doing your yogic breath and just sit quietly. The body is very still. The awareness is on the breath in either nostril, and the focus is either at the crown or the brow point or the crown if your eyes are closed, or just at the tip of your nose if your eyes are just hooded. So we'll just be here for a couple minutes while we do this. So inhale through the left. And then switch, close the left and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And then switch, close the right, exhale left. So we switch on the exhales. That's one full round. Just continue your pace, your rhythm, your breath. Your breath rhythm is likely different than mine. And you're just following your own rhythm. And just continue in that form. totally still, focused on the breath. Just be in your breath. And the next time you find yourself exhaling through the left, just go ahead and release the pattern. Bring your hands down. And just sit quietly for a moment. Noticing any shift. Noticing what's occurring for you. Feeling into your resilience. Feeling into your regulation. Maybe you felt a little bit of activation from the movements. Maybe now you feel a little balanced from the breath, alternate nostril balancing the energy across the channels of the body. Now our next one is going to be a pattern breath. It's going to be 7-part inhalation through the nostrils. So you'll split the inhale in 7 parts. And then a long exhale. So splitting the inhale, we want to try to visualize the breath moving from the base of the spine, up the spine, one, what we call energy center or vortice or chakra at a time. So we start at the base of the spine with the first little inhale, so a little sip in through the nostrils. And then we go to the sacral area, and then to the navel area, and then to the heart area, and then to the behind the third eye, the center of the skull, and then to the crown. And just retain for a moment, just pause for a moment, just feel into that lifting and elevating, and then exhale, let everything go. And then begin again. 7-part inhale, starting at the root. Sacrum, navel, heart, throat, skull, crown. Just hold for a moment. No stress, no strain, just lightly retain. And then exhale, let it all go. Emptying out completely and beginning again. So follow the pattern, your rhythm, your pace, your breath. Body is very still. Visualize the centers as we move up the spine to the crown. We get to the crown, we just retain for a moment. Pause for a moment. Gentle awareness at the crown. And then exhale completely. Just run the pattern. Root, sacrum, navel, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Pause. And exhale. Just continue that. And after your next iteration on your exhale, whenever you just go inside, be very still, turn your attention inward, reconnect with that sense of gratitude, that place where your inhale begins. Be right there with your breath. Give yourself a chance to feel into what shifts with each of these practices. Take the opportunity to integrate, feel into what changes with each of these little adjustments we make to our awareness, to our bodies, to our breath. Our next breath is another pattern interrupt. It's an 8-part breath. We alternate between the nose and the mouth. So it'll be nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. On the inhale, a pause, shorter pause this time, just a 1-beat pause, and then exhale, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, pause, 1 beat, and then just continue. So we'll do that rhythm. Stay with me if you like, or find your own. So you inhale in the 8 parts, brief sip through the nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, pause. Exhale, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, pause. Inhale, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, pause. Exhale, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth. Continue. Last round. A full inhale. A complete exhale. And again, very still, very aware, very silent, very still. Notice where you are. How does this breath awareness change your experience? Give yourself a chance to integrate and just be, releasing all thought, all judgment, all expectation. Our last breath today is a two-part breath. So again, we'll bring our awareness to the base of the spine and we'll inhale to the heart. And we can think the thought, I am grateful, or I am love, or I'm kind, or I'm compassionate. And then the second part will be to inhale from the heart to the crown. And we can think, I am light, I am bliss, I am joy, whatever words are authentic and resonate with you. And then we'll exhale. This is through the nostrils. And then inhale to the heart, from the base to the heart. I am grateful, I am love, I am kind. And then from the heart to the crown, I am light, I am bliss, I am joy, or whatever words, again, work for you. Exhale and just continue the pattern. So next round be your last. And then just sit quietly. Let everything go. Let everything integrate. Be very still and come into rest. If you'd like to lie down for your rest, feel free to do so. Provide yourself with whatever additional support you may need for your rest. Maybe you want to lie down and place a cloth over your eyes, a blanket or a shawl on your body, a bolster for your knees. Maybe you want to stay seated, but you want to cover up. Whatever you need for any additional support, find that here. Releasing any need to do, releasing thought, releasing expectation or judgment, just allowing yourself to be. Looking within the body for any areas of tension or tightness, bringing awareness to that in the form of relaxation or rest, release, let go. Just allow yourself to be. And as you rest, I'll take this opportunity to share my sense of gratitude with you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your practice. I'm honored to be here, truly. I invite you to stay in this place of rest and stillness. Allow healing, allow rejuvenation, allow resilience, regulation, and revelation to come. You embrace this moment of being. And then take the echoes of your practice with you as you go through the rest of your day, allowing it to resonate with you, that sense of gratitude to resonate with you, lifting you and everyone you come in contact with.